Hey guys, here's another San Diego Comic-Con interview. This time I'm talking to Hasbro's Transformers team. Matt from AwesomeToyBlog here at San Diego Comic-Con, above the crowds in the Hasbro Pulse booth. I'm with the Transformers team, and we are going to talk about some awesome Transformers. So Evan, Nate, thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us.
So I have notes.
Okay.
I decided to be prepared this time.
Thank you.
Let's start with Studio Series Optimus Prime. Okay. I don't think it's reductive to say you guys are pretty familiar with Optimus Prime toys.
Just a little. That's fair.
Right? So when you approached, because obviously Optimus Prime in the movie, pretty important. What did you say was the objective for this Optimus Prime to do or be that other Optimus Primes aren't?
It was definitely, when we were setting it up and we were talking to Takara Tomy, we were just like, okay, I want these elements.
Okay.
And I think you want them too. I wanted to have butterfly hinges in his body so that he can do better posing than we've ever seen before. I wanted to have those blast effects underneath because maybe fans want to pose him out in truck mode because that scene is so iconic.
That is the scene.
And one thing, as we've kind of been doing more and more figures in Legacy and Studio Series, the previous Earthrise figure started to feel a little short, so we wanted to make sure that he was bulked up, he was beefed out, and he felt like this is the accurate Optimus Prime it needs to be.
Okay, so that is the Optimus Prime for now.
That's a good way to put it.
That's a good way to put it? All right. Yeah, because he is incredible, and the extra features, specifically the blast effects, work really well with it. And also, as a fan, what I really like is the blast effects have a home.
Yes.
That's not a Ziploc bag in a bin in my closet.
That was 100% Tomo-san.
Yes.
Like when we kicked it off and we were like, we would like all these blast effects. And it's like, okay, how about we put them all in the trailer like this? And it's like, yes, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that is, like you guys did on weapon storage as being a plus, having a place for those blast effects, because after, a couple of years of collecting a couple of lines of toys, your blast effects start to look like each other.
Yep.
And it's nice to be able to say, hey, this is where these ones go.
Yep.
Be a mature person, be a mature adult person and put them where they go, but they have a home.
What are you talking about? Don't you have plenty of cookie tins that you can just store them all in?
So I have jewelry Ziploc bags.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
That's what I do now. So whenever I get a figure that has extra little parts, I cut the name out of the box and I put all the accessories in a jewelry bag with the little piece of the cardboard box I cut out. So that way there's no...
You're not cutting this box up though, are you?
No.
Okay, so that was another thing that we're really focused on. So I don't know if you were at the panel yesterday.
I was.
Mario's here from our graphics team. And that, when you're planning the item, you never quite know which features are going to land, which are going to be missed, which are going to be overlooked. So like you said in the blast effects, which was very intentional, especially with Tomo-san, but to see the feedback like, yes, thank you for doing that, and especially on the packaging, I've never seen so many comments like, hey, I usually just, toss or recycle my packaging, but to see like, this is the one I'm keeping. And again, leaning into that iconic scene where I loved your line from yesterday, was like, the box comes with music.
Yeah.
Like you can hear the box.
You can hear the box,
exactly. So I'd love to hear that feedback that, okay, good. When we invested time and energy into those features, that the fans are appreciating it.
And the box is, as Evan, I think you said yesterday, the box is kind of unique in that it has both the robot and alt mode of Prime on it.
Transformation sequence.
Right in the front.
That's something that we've never really done before, but Marcelo, who is the artist for it, he loves drawing those scenes.
Okay.
Like he's the nicest guy if you ever go and talk to him. He has a lot of things that he enjoys drawing. One is like the fingers, and he likes drawing the little rings in the fingers.
Okay, yeah.
But then he also loves watching and drawing those in-between transformation scenes. So the fact that we were able to get that on the package, because that is the iconic scene.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And unlike, unlike Deluxe, Voyager, and Leader scales where you have the window.
Right, you have to accommodate a window with the art.
We have Commander scale, Titan scale, even HasLab. We start with a blank canvas. So it's like, okay, so it's going to be closed box. So we have all the real estate we want. How do we make this amazing? We looked at the masterpiece, for inspiration. Yeah, exactly. Where you have the little call outs, but again, that action scene, which when you picture G1 Optimus, that's the scene you're always picturing. So recreate that in the box in the figure is was a really, really great
And I
toy.
mean, you guys have been on fire with packaging and artwork for
Oh,
quite
it's
some
awesome to hear.
time.
We'll definitely pass it on to the team. They'll be glad to hear
Legacy has all been good, and
Mario
even
and
going,
Amy.
yeah,
Yeah,
Your
100%,
team has
yeah.
been knocking packaging out of the park. So
Thanks.
this is just another winner. So on Studio Series. So what's your criteria for character selection for Studio Series 86? I'm going somewhere with this, and it's not a trap, I promise.
It is a checklist.
Okay.
So we have talked back and forth about like, okay, did they show up in the movie? That's
Okay.
great.
Yep.
Maybe were they in the storyboards for the movie and that scene got cut?
Okay.
Like, it comes up every once in a while. But usually it's just kind of a checklist.
Do they have to transform in the movie?
No, as long as they just show up.
Do they have to be Cybertronian?
No.
So the movie opens with two cool dudes who are kind of like scientists,
My
right?
God, is this
This would be- I was just saying-
It
It's like
would
Kranix
be.
talking
No,
about.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just asking questions
asking
here.
me about
I'm
Kranix
asking.
and Arbalest?
I am, right? They're
I
just.
wonder what could be coming in the 40th anniversary for that movie.
I mean, because they've never had a figure.
No, they never have. We have
And-
weird alt mode drawings.
Well, I was going to
the old
say
comics.
there
Yeah,
is
they
an
do
alt mode.
exist.
They're
Yeah.
in my the guide of Transformers from Marvel. There's an alt mode.
Yep,
I mean,
100%.
that would be kind of cool, right?
be very
Like,
cool.
that's my question, right? Would that be cool?
It would be very cool. So Evan has, it is literally a PowerPoint slide. Pretty rudimentary, just a list of, here are the scales, here's who we've done, here's who we have not done.
Okay.
So, like we mentioned in the panel, every piece of content, especially 86, we know the gaps, and ideally, everyone slowly down the list, to build off of what Evan said, we have the 40th anniversary of the film. Expect us to celebrate that in meaningful ways. Obviously, there's some big ones that we haven't done.
Yeah. Big,
Megatron,
literally big also.
Literally big. Soundwave, Shockwave. Kranix is also on the list on Evan's PowerPoint slide. So there are plans to fill out the cast, but without revealing too much.
Yeah,
Stay
I mean,
tuned.
I know, you can't say blah, 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 but, they'd be pretty epic. Also epic, there's a big green guy that you guys announced, or teased, I'd say, at the end of the panel.
Yes.
Devastator.
Yep.
Our Constructicon pals.
Yep.
Right? Building a better future for them, not for anybody else.
Right.
I think they have that tampoed on the side.
Right? That's
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
right? Building a better future for us.
Yeah.
Combiner Wars Devastator is great. Still looks fantastic. On my top shelf.
Yeah.
Next to my Fort Maxes who don't have their heads on because my ceiling's not tall enough. What do you want to accomplish with Studio Series 86 Devastator that's not in Combiner
Great
Wars?
question.
So, one of the big things that when we went into it and we were working together with Usui-san on it, who also worked on, I believe, that Titan Return Devastator, the individual Constructicons were compromised.
Okay,
a lot
that's
of them-
fair. I haven't touched the individuals in about 10 years.
That figure is 10
It's
years.
been a bit.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we wanted to do was to make sure that at least all the Constructicons had elbow joints.
Okay.
So that you could pose them out and have fun. There's a lot of other innovations that he's popped in there, and I think actually you guys will be able to see more of that coming in September.
Oh, at
during
PulseCon.
Yeah. We're hoping to show a little bit more of him then, so we'll have more reveals then.
Well, it's wild, without revealing too much, the first elements, the first Constructicons are coming first, I'll say at least first half of 2025. So
Okay.
while we just revealed them, we have like the early gray models that, Evan has been doing with Takara Tomy. So he looks awesome, I can say, and there's a lot of improvements from the figure that's already beloved. But like 10 years ago, there's a lot
Well,
of
10 years was a while
strides
ago.
that have been made in engineering and design, and really just lessons learned from Menosaur, which people are absolutely loving and love kind of getting back into those combiners because people love them and they're great collections to get together and you have your own shelf. So we are so excited, and especially, and again, about lessons learned with Menosaur. I know Breakdown is a very, very hard figure to get.
But
We
you're
are-
fixing that, right?
We are doing our absolute best. So we're going to try to make all of them, so they're spread out through one calendar year.
Yep.
We're going to be incredibly transparent like we already have. It's like, okay, 2025, yes, we are going to complete the whole Devastator, because I think when we first did the very first Stunticon, I don't know if it was Drag Strip, I can't remember which one was the first one. So
It was wave 1.
Yep.
there was still kind of like, apprehensive excitement, like, oh my gosh, does this mean they're going to do Menasor? And well, that means they're going to have to do a Commander as well. Are they sure? So yes, all of Devastator, all in 1 year. So we're going to make sure it's like we are going to over communicate. Pay attention. Here it comes. All right, you've got those now. All right, pay attention again. Here's the next drop, to make sure that everyone is fully aware, but also spreading it around where you don't have to do the whole Devastator price tag at one time.
Right.
Because we have Legacy, we still have Titans and Commanders. We want to make sure that we are easy as much as we can on your wallet throughout the year, so you can plan it out and make sure you get Devastator if you want it.
Right. I mean, I think you guys really got a lot of goodwill now that Swoop is out. Right. We have all the Dinobots.
Sorry it took so long.
No, it's all right. But like now we have that, like, because that was sort of one of the things, right?
Yeah.
Is they're eking out one at a time. It's like, oh, by the time we get Swoop, I'm going to be retired. Which poor Swoop, by the way. Right. Poor sad Swoop last.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's right. He's got to feel bad.
But he's there now.
I mean, he didn't even get his eyes didn't even pop out in the movie, and yet he's still last.
But now he gets his own special moment all by himself.
Right now
the very
he's like,
last
and
one.
he makes everybody feel better because now the team's complete.
Yeah.
So I don't think that that's going to be a concern with Devastator. And on Breakdown, right? You announced G2 Breakdown as part of Wave 1 2025. You also announced other harder to get sort of making a return. Those returning figures. So G2 Breakdown's not a great example because the first one was G1. So obviously that'll be different. Right? Cosmos and Galaxy Shuttle, right?
Tarn,
those are going to be Are they going to be straight up reissues, or are you going to...
They're straight up reissues.
Okay, so they're going to be... You're not going to make people mad with those.
No. I mean, especially coming out of COVID, honestly, and really kind of, I want to say kind of the last 5 years has almost been like a new age for Transformers.
Yes, well, I think for every line, it's very different.
For a lot of brands, really. So coming out of COVID, there's a lot of lessons learned on like distribution and really getting to know kind of this generation of collectors even better, like what's landing, because I think we honestly kind of underestimated the impact that Tarn would have. It's like, oh yeah, this is a great figure, we're putting him out, and then I was like, oh my gosh, like how do we get more Tarn out there? And then, but by the time we had to move on to the next wave, and so that we knew we're always doing research. And it's like, okay, what figures rose to the top? Which one was maybe a surprising one that didn't do as well as we were expecting? And then especially when there's opportunities like Cosmos, again, I'll quote Evan again, breaking the bonds of exclusivity or a multi-pack, because we know some of these multi-packs are going for ludicrous amounts of money, and some people just are not going to invest that for a single deluxe.
Right,
like,
when you want one figure out of the four,
so we're focusing on where we can, because we still want to make sure we're doing all newly tooled figures and parcels and meaningful redecos like the G2 Breakdown, but making sure those all-stars that a lot of people missed out but desperately want, we're putting those back out. So because we really are listening to the fans as best we can and trying to ease the burden of having to get it from somewhere else.
Right. All right, one last question.
Cool.
Favorite Constructicon? Based on character, not on the toy that doesn't exist yet.
Go first.
No, sorry. So I have nostalgia for Bone Crusher because he was my first toy.
Bone Crusher's amazing.
From back in the day. And I vividly remember my mother buying him for me. So because of that, he's always been my favorite.
No, that's good. Yeah. That's because Bone Crusher's also my favorite.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you've got the
just
right
something about the toy. It's more fun than the others to me.
Yeah,
I've just always enjoyed him.
He's doing some intense yoga to do that transformation, and it's great.
I love him. Yeah, so that's 100%. A very good answer.
That is a good answer. I'm more of a long haul guy.
Okay. All right.
Maybe
a little dump.
Mark, because Mark's favorite is also long.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good. He's not Bone Crusher, but he's good.
He's the silent kind of tank in the background.
Yeah, exactly. I just, the big bruiser kind of guy. I love that.
That appeals to us. Sweet. All right, Evan, Nate, thank you so much for the time. I love talking Transformers with you guys.
We also love talking Transformers. This is, what day is it? Saturday.
It is Saturday, yes.
Okay, I don't remember anymore.
But, no, it's been so great. Everyone seems to be really happy about Transformers. I don't know if you've seen the new trailer.
Yes.
The movie is awesome. We can verify that. We cannot wait for fans. I think fans are going to be shocked by how good it is.
Okay, cool. So that's September
20th.
September 20th, Transformers 1.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That gives you a good opportunity to
Maybe reveal
to maybe
a little more things.
bring a little bit of it up. All right, guys. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.